Story 1. My mother had an ongoing secret affair with the guy I was dating in my 20s while I was dating him. I'm 60 now. It still hurts that she would do that to me. Story 2. My house was raided for child pornography. Agents came through, searched every room, collected every storage device, and questioned me. I promptly said I would not talk without a lawyer. My wife was crying, and I told her not to talk without a lawyer. After about 4 hours, all of the agents left with every electronic device. Then they handed me the warrant. Apparently, my internet protocol address was detected distributing child pornography. After counseling and a lot of communication, my wife and I agreed not to tell anyone about this. Not family, not friends, no one. We moved from the house because it just made us uneasy being there. After 3 years of fighting with the agency, we finally got all of our devices back. The devices they took were the only copies of all of our photos, so it was one of the happiest days ever. It turns out one of our neighbors was using our Wi-Fi, which had an easy 8-letter lowercase password. Once they did not find anything on our devices, they did a search of the neighbor. Use a good Wi-Fi password, or bad things can happen. Story 3. When I was 9, my friend would use my laptop during sleepovers to access online video rooms, similar to Omegle, which connect with random people and can also be used to video call your friends. She was 2 years older than me. One night, she was controlling it, and the person started asking more inappropriate questions. She would answer. I was uncomfortable but not familiar with any of this. I was 9 and it was 2008. I didn't understand that the internet could be scary or dangerous. Anyway, my friend undressed to her bra and pressured me into doing so as well. I remember feeling it was wrong, but I didn't have many friends and did what she said. The person told us to stand in front of the camera. I only remember standing in front of the camera, nothing else. But I closed it at one point because it just felt too wrong, even at barely 9. Weeks later, I received a message on the platform from some user. It ended up being the same person from that night. They recorded the entire thing and threatened to send it to everyone I knew on my Facebook list if I didn't join their private room and do what they said. All I remember is the pure terror I felt. I remember the room name, Slave Cave. I deleted that account and the website I only used to video chat with my friends at school because of this. I will never forget the pure fear I felt. I was only 9. I battled internally with myself until I was almost 20 because I felt that it was all my fault, which isn't true in the slightest. I've never told anyone, not even my therapist. I planned to. Story 4. I was secretly having 10 to 15 drinks a day for over 2 years. I would have 2 to 3 in the open but snuck the rest. Sober over a year now and nobody to celebrate it with. Edit. Thanks for everyone's congratulations and words of encouragement. Story 5. I sometimes eat after taking my Ambien. I woke up one morning and saw the cat food bowl with a spoon in it. Empty. My cat was really upset with me. Story 6. The only reason I'm still here is because I don't want to cause pain to the people I love. I am so exhausted from putting on a happy face so no one knows how badly I really feel. I don't want them to know because it would only make them worry about me, and that isn't going to help me. So I just say nothing. Story 7. I have multiple sclerosis. In a nutshell, my immune system is trying to kill me because it doesn't recognize my body as itself. Very few people in my life know I have it, and I deliberately go out of my way to seem clumsy rather than disabled. If I drop something or lose my balance, I act stupid. I would rather people think I'm a klutz than have pity on me. Currently, there is no cure, only treatments to prevent new symptoms. It's a lifelong disease. Unless a breakthrough cure is discovered, I'll die with it. I've had symptoms since I was 10. I was diagnosed at 22. I'll be 26 in a few months. Edit. Guys, please, I don't need medical advice. This is why I don't normally share it. Thank you for the kind words and support, however. Follow-up edit. The reason I don't share my diagnosis is not out of fear of judgment or embarrassment. I don't share it because I don't want to. Having multiple sclerosis doesn't bug me. I've had symptoms for over half my life. It's all I've ever known essentially. All that changed was I figured out what was causing it. I'm a private person in general, and if it's not relevant, I typically don't share it. I'm a lot more open on the internet because of the anonymity of it. There are people in my life who know I have it, and I'm fine with it. The multiple sclerosis doesn't define me. It's not my identity, so I just don't share it. But I do appreciate the support and hearing your own journey with multiple sclerosis, whether it be yourself directly or a loved one. You really are sweet, and it's amazing how considerate all of you are. Thank you, really. Stay strong, everyone. Story 8. I walked my college graduation, got my diploma somehow, but was one class short. I don't even know how that works. I went back next semester and retook the one class I needed. So I believe I'm good. Story 9. If you're reading this, brother, your Nintendo 64 Donkey Kong cartridge is buried out back next to the daffodils in our old house. You should have let me play it with you. Story 10. I'm showing every early sign of heart failure. I don't want to tell anyone, though, until I've seen a cardiologist. Edit. To everyone telling me to see a doctor now, I've already been to urgent care. I've got a cardiologist appointment at the end of next month. Story 11. I do not remember most of the last 5 years of my life. I suffered a severe mental breakdown, coupled with severe depression and anxiety. I have been frozen in place since. I have not paid my credit card, and my bank account was closed due to inactivity. Student loans went to creditors. I am planning on filing for bankruptcy. I have no job. I take care of my parents, who both suffered strokes. I am trying to get back on my feet and turn my life around. Story 12. I have a heart condition that means I'll be gone in 10 years absolute maximum. My family and a few close friends know that my heart isn't the greatest because sometimes it limits what I can do. But none of them know the extent of it, or that it's not curable, only manageable, and will continue to deteriorate over time. I have 13 and 14-year-old boys. I just want to be around long enough to make sure they reach adulthood okay. That's enough for me. The reason I'm keeping it to myself is that I went through breast cancer and chemotherapy at 29. I saw the way people looked at me then, how they treated me, the pity in their eyes. And those were the ones that didn't simply dump me because they didn't know how to deal with it. I don't want that again. It was the chemotherapy that ruined my heart. I had a very bad reaction to one of the chemotherapy drugs. I was told I could continue treatment with it and risk possible long-term damage, or discontinue treatment and more than likely die of cancer. My kids were 1.5 and 2 then. It was an easy choice. I'd take my chances with the chemotherapy and pay the ferryman later, giving me as much time with my kids as I could manage. When the damage to my heart was discovered, the doctors were surprised at how at peace and calm I was about the rather bleak prognosis. But the way I see it, if I hadn't had the chemotherapy, I'd already be dead. I've already managed almost 12 extra years, and may get another 10. I did all the I may die existential mental gymnastics back then, and am happy with my choices. I got granted extra time I had fully come to terms with potentially not having. I'm grateful for that. And that's why it would upset me beyond belief to see pity in people's eyes and have them feel sorry for me. It minimizes my achievement. I won. I got more time than I dared to hope for, and I won't let anyone tarnish that achievement. Story 13. Right before COVID, I did a stand-up comedy open mic night, my first and last time. It was a huge success. Everybody loved it. Besides the crowd, I think 3 people know about it. Story 14. I'll be living in my SUV to save money. Friends wanted me to rent with them or from them next year, but I'm secretly planning my new rent-free lifestyle. I make too much to qualify for low-rent housing and not enough to save for a house with the way rent currently goes. My mom thinks I'll be renting with friends. I still have to break the news to a girl I've been seeing. It's only been 3 weeks, so maybe I won't have to worry about that. Story 15. I keep telling my family I never want to get married as they keep bringing it up. On the inside, I am craving a relationship so bad I would put it above any of my other priorities. Story 16. I am completely exhausted. I feel fragile and ready to break into nothing any day now. I don't tell anyone because I have to work and support my family. Story 17. Why I quit drinking. I was a very heavy drinker, always alone. Definitely alcoholic behavior, although I believe I somehow dodged addiction. something I'm grateful for every day. The truth is, I had an unbelievably vivid dream in which I carried and gave birth to a baby. The love and joy I had for her was life-altering, and now I've had a child, it was actually somewhat accurate. When you hear quit cold turkey, I think most people assume there was some terrible experience, but it wasn't even a terrible dream. It was just a brief, intensely vivid experience of the thing I wanted most in the world, and I realized drinking like that was completely incompatible with the kind of mother I wanted to be. The dream had nothing to do with alcohol, but it was enough. I literally had my last sip of alcohol that night, Mother's Day 2018. Cold turkey, no problems. Story 18. When I was 16, I bought a car without telling my parents. I registered it in my name but had no insurance and used to park it at random lots all over town. I also stole a dealer plate which is used to put on any car for test drives and such. My parents found out when I got careless and left it on the street, and a cop saw an '89 Bonneville with a car dealer plate on it. Anyway, the part I've never told anyone is that once I made the car legal, at the furious insistence of my parents, I would sometimes go upcountry to visit my dying widowed grandma. One time I told her I was coming up but did irresponsible teenage things instead. She called me and left a message saying how sad she was that I hadn't shown up. I lied and said I got a flat tire on the way. That was untrue. Sorry, Grandma. I know you loved me anyway, but that was really untrue. Story 19. I was raped at 14 by our next-door neighbor. He drugged me, stole my virginity, and then threatened to kill my entire family if I ever said a word. 6 months later, I was told that Mom was leaving Dad for the neighbor. I didn't tell her because I was sure that if I told her then, she'd think I was a terrible person making up lies to make her stay. I waited for a few months so I could tell her after the crisis moment was over. Then she had a sudden heart attack at only 35. So I was again afraid to tell her because I feared that the shock and grief would kill her. There's so much more to this. Some truly awful stuff. But I doubt you guys want to hear it. Story 21. I never got my degree. I've made my way up in the restaurant world without ever mentioning I'm 4 credit hours from being done. My grandma's last words. She said, "You're the only grandchild that I truly loved." I know why she said it, but my cousin adored her, even if she treated grandma poorly, so I don't say anything. Story 21. I don't think a lot of people can tell, but I struggle with clinical depression, and even with my medication each day, I have to find a reason not to kill myself. For about 2 years, I would get so drunk a few times a month and try to kill myself with my revolver or by overdosing, and each morning I'd be so miserable waking up, and the hangover and withdrawal never helped. It was a really dark period and my memory is spotty, but I remember everyone at work assuming I was happy because I was always making jokes and committing to coming in early and staying late. Story 22. When I was 5, I used to sneak cans of my dad's Pabst Blue Ribbon out of the refrigerator and swill it while playing with my toy soldiers. My oldest brother got the blame. 57 years later, thank you for giving me the opportunity to come clean. Story 23. I was raped by my boyfriend in high school, and that is the reason I had 2 cesarean sections, not because it was medically necessary, but because I couldn't tolerate the physical exams. I started crying when my doctor attempted to see if I was dilated, and she asked, "Okay, what is really going on here?" I told her, and she said, "I'm going to schedule you for a cesarean section on the emergency, and you don't ever have to explain this to anyone. I'll write some stuff in your charts so no one will ask questions." I love that woman. She delivered both of my babies and let me be my own advocate and made me feel so validated. Wonderful people do exist, and the world is not as bad as we make it out to be. Story 24. Last fall, I stopped drinking. I told all of my friends it was because I was sad about a breakup, but I was actually pregnant with his child. I ended up miscarrying about a month and a half after I learned I was pregnant, and I also had an abnormal pap smear which required a biopsy. It was an extremely emotionally volatile time for me, and I didn't leave my house for about 4 months. It was the absolute worst time of my life. I still haven't told anyone other than my closest friends, and I don't plan to. I just want to put it all behind me. I feel a lot better now, but I'm hesitant to form any meaningful relationships with new people. Story 25. I once told my mom that I sold a bag of oregano to a kid at school for $25 and made them think it was marijuana. I don't know why she believed me. Anyway, that was a lie. Story 26. I tell everyone I don't want to get married. I have been with the love of my life for 4 years now. But the reality is my partner has been fighting a divorce case for over 7 years. And this is why we cannot marry. Story 27. I had a miscarriage and had to have surgery because I wouldn't actually miscarry the baby. The only people in my life that know are doctors, my boyfriend, and one person who was a friend. When I told the friend, she said it wasn't like it was a real baby anyway, so I shouldn't be upset. From then on, I didn't speak to her and haven't told anyone else except strangers on the internet, I guess. Story 28. In high school, there was this mean girl. Long story short, she did not like me because I dated one of the guys she liked keeping wrapped around her finger. I got flowers from him once, set them down on a table with my friends, and she was sitting nearby. I saw her glare at the bouquet as if she could set it on fire with her eyes. I remember when I expressed that I did not appreciate her flirting with my boyfriend, the guy she kept wrapped around her finger. He had something on his shirt one day, and she did the whole gross, licking her finger to get a smudge off the guy's shirt thing, just one instance of her flirting. Her group of friends sat me down and tried to manipulate me into accepting this behavior as just how she is. After high school, she dated one of my best friends. She also tried to get a job at the same place I worked at, but that's another story. We didn't interact, but she ended up living with my best friend and a few of our other friends. They were all roommates. I was over once, and she couldn't even be civil. She saw me in the living room with my friends from high school, and she threw a fit, slamming everything and eventually leaving the apartment while stomping her feet the whole time. We could hear her making her way down the stairs for a while. Anyways, after that, I went into the bedroom she shared with my friend, took all her makeup brushes, and wiped my behind with each and every one of them.